It's happening. Shit's getting real. This is Sophia Musto, and I am so excited to have you here to share my stories with you because life is full of flavor. The purpose of the Zensetter podcast is storytelling, and I want to hear your story, and thank you for listening to mine. You're going to meet so many amazing friends along the way, so thanks for being here. Namaste and hairspray.
And welcome back, Zensetters, to the Zensetter podcast. I'm your host, Sophia Musto in the flesh, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited for this season. The season's coming to an end. I can't believe it, but we will be back. Stay tuned for this spring for season 2. Taking a little hiatus to batch some incredible content for you. The feedback has been incredible, and I'm so excited to bring you a new guest today. I haven't had a chance to do some solo podcasts because I have so many friends to share their incredible stories with you. Today, coming from the West Coast, I have a powerful, incredibly strong leader in the beauty industry. Lindsay Smith from Colorado is here to talk about Independent Beauty Pros. Independent Beauty Pros is a LinkedIn for the solopreneur creative in the beauty industry. So this is anyone from a lash artist, a makeup artist, a barber, to a hairstylist, to an educator. So if you feel that you identify with anybody that's like a solopreneur creator in the beauty industry, this is the podcast for you. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my girlfriend, Lindsay. Lindsay, take it over.
Hi, I'm so excited to be on today. I always love talking with you, obviously, Sophia. My name is Lindsay. I'm the founder of Independent Beauty Pros, membership-based community designed for solopreneurs within the beauty industry. So independent artists, educators, coaches. We provide community resources, virtual and in-person events, all with a focus on networking and mentorship.
It's amazing. Now, how long has IBP been around?
We launched April 2020, so just over a year and a half now. I actually had worked with a developer to build out the platform in 2018. So I had purchased the domain at that point, had the idea in my mind, but it's evolved immensely from where I first initially saw it as a Chicago-based networking community of artists to now evolve into what it is today with members all over.
So cool. So I was so excited. I'm going to give a little backstory. So I was introduced to IBP through social media. And it's so funny because at this time I'm like navigating, letting my kids be on the internet more. And I'm in these like containers of like learning Zoom, and I'm a hairdresser. So most hairdressers, barbers, massage people, they don't get on Zoom. We are not working a 9-to-5 office job where we have HR, like do salons even have HR to even understand what we're doing, you know? So I was lucky to come across you from, I think, Interconnections, because where are you located now?
So we're now in Colorado. As we are currently recording, we are physically in Colorado. I moved from Chicago in October 2020. So had started IBP in Chicago. Like I mentioned, I was an independent artist there, built a business behind the chair there. And then with the pandemic, it felt like being in a major city was really challenging versus being in Colorado in Steamboat Springs, where we have access to outdoor activities, nature. It just felt like what we wanted at the time and what felt most in alignment for ourselves personally. And that also allowed me to step into IBP full time. And so putting more focus into building our community and stepping away from my business behind the chair. But we are about to travel. So we're actually going to be in destinations unknown very shortly. We're about to travel, and my work can be done from anywhere as long as I have great Wi-Fi. So it gives us a lot of flexibility now.
I'm so jealous. That sounds amazing and like a dream come true. Well, I'm glad to know that. But anyway, I'm on the East Coast
Yep.
and you're on the West Coast, and the inner world brought us together. And
Totally.
I was launching my Zensetter box and I saw independent, and I'm like, this is what I've been preaching about. I'm an independent stylist. Like, breaking free from a salon culture was like my independence and freedom was what I needed. And then once I got it, I'm like, I've never felt so alone in my life, but I really wasn't alone. So I reached out to you and you were like, hell yeah, with like, without any question. I'm like, oh my God, this is my girl. And you made me a Women Crush Wednesday. And because of that ad, I actually sent 2 boxes to Colorado. And that's the power of connection and networking and people like building upon and expanding each other in this independent world.
Yes.
So when you thought about building this, did you see it reaching all over the world? I mean, you have people in Barbados in this community.
No, I mean, I definitely didn't. Like I mentioned initially, so just like you articulated, I felt the same in my business. I loved the freedom and flexibility of being independent. I had initially decided to leave a commission-based salon and be independent because I was doing photo shoot work, I was doing bridal, I was working with lots of texture. I was looking at like all these different avenues that I wanted to step into within the industry. Education, I was a national educator for a brand. And so there were so many different things I wanted to take on. And being in the structure of a commission-based salon didn't allow me that freedom. But then when I stepped into being independent, I didn't recognize how lonely I would feel. I didn't have any understanding for the support that I received from my salon team, what it would feel like, the void that would come from being solo. So again, the way you mentioned that feeling, I was looking for connection just within my own community. So I would host like local meetup groups where, again, I would put up on Meetup like independent artists. My first event, it was literally my friends. So again, I wasn't finding those connections. I was trying to connect with like-minded artists, and I just couldn't seem to make those really true relationships, those collaborative relationships physically within my community. And so I guess in my mind, as I looked at options through 2018, 2019, I saw it being digital in some ways, but I don't think any of us could have prepared for how connected we would become online over the course of 2020 with the pandemic. So the time frame of everything was just, it was perfect timing. I launched in the most perfect time where we all were craving connection, where we all were looking for that like really true community feel, because we were all home. Our businesses were closed for an indefinite amount of time. We didn't know what was going to come, what was next. Like, just the perfect time to connect with other people who are going through the same experience.
Yeah. And that's what IBP is all about, is connecting, sharing experiences. And that's what is amazing about it. So let's tell the listeners what exactly goes down behind the scenes with IBP.
Sure.
So you do a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But I think what's so unique about IBP, again, I feel like I have true understanding for the needs of the solopreneur because I spent years building my business as an independent artist. So I have a really clear understanding of the pain points that are experienced in each stage of that process. So early days of being independent, where you're kind of going through that transition of like, oh, I have to do all of this myself. Like, holy shit, this is a lot. Like, there's a big learning curve. There's a huge learning curve that comes. And again, it's something that like you really can't be prepared for without the experience of going through the process of that. So being able to connect to artists as mentors who have truly went through that is a huge value add in our community, because it gives you a little bit of insight on what you can expect with that transition. So again, within our community, going back to the very beginning stages, if you're not yet independent or you're thinking about being an independent artist, our community is an ideal kind of opportunity for you to learn from other people who are like-minded. Everyone within our community is paying to be there. So you're going into a group of people who see the value in collaboration and community. Otherwise, they wouldn't be a part of our group. So you're going into a safe space where you can ask questions. You can say, this is overwhelming, or I'm struggling, or this is too confusing, and you're going to have true mentors and people who want to connect with you and help you and support you through that process. So I think as we grow and develop as independent artists, we're in that middle stage. We have our bearings, we know what we're doing, we know how to connect to our clients, we have the fundamentals, but then there becomes all these opportunities to diversify our income streams or scale our businesses or hire an assistant. There's all these kind of like new options that we have. And what more important time to find a mentor when you're looking at stepping into education or coaching? Do you want to do that on your own and trial and error your way through what that process looks like? Or do you want to connect with a coach who's been coaching for years and wants to share their insight with you? You know, same with hiring an assistant. Do you want to kind of navigate that on your own? Or do you want to talk in a forum with a group of other people who have assistants full time that they've been able to work with, who are open to sharing what that process was like for them? So again, it's like each phase of that journey in being a business owner and entrepreneur, it's so important to kind of lean on your community. And a lot of times, if you're a solopreneur, you don't have that community geographically.
No. And that's what IBP is all about. These independent beauty pros coming together twice a month, doing these virtual education hours where it's real people who don't necessarily go out and pay all the marketing and branding to sell you something. They're just here to share, which is amazing. Like, it's networking brought to you in a different way. Like, I loved how we brought on somebody that showed a budget breakdown. Nina Trulio was amazing how if you're giving away a $20, you're giving away $10,000 in a year. And just to put like a financial scale in front of you, and then having Alicia from Salon Scale to show us how to separate our parts for labor so we can hire an assistant, so we can have like a Michelle Cook do our CPA. It's amazing who has come on, and you're giving so much value to this community by giving 2 virtual education hours, not just for the hairdresser, for the solo business person, artist, however you identify. But I learned so much this year, from mindset, from taxes, to vision boarding, to manifesting, I am a proud founding member and ambassador of Independent Beauty Pros, and I scream it from the rooftops to people. And we really need to stop this stigma of that we're in competition, and we're more in community over competition. And that's what IBP screams to me. If you want to feel seen, heard, and loved, this is the community to be in. And I am going to piggyback off of everything that you said, and you left out a really important part in my eyes. And this is why I'm an extreme proud member to be back. You focus on community, and you preach that you want to network and build upon community, but you also give back to community. This isn't just like you pay dues and it goes into something. Like, I have seen Project Beauty Share. Can you please dabble a little bit how much Independent Beauty Pros has given and raised for and been a part of raising for Project Beauty Share this year? It's amazing to watch.
Totally. So that's something, again, I think about what my value system is as a human being. So again, not just as an artist, not just as a woman, but really like as a person, as a human that's a part of society. What do I care about? And then when I look at our industry, when I look at the needs of our industry, the needs of like others who are maybe less fortunate than we are, people who are experiencing homelessness, people who are going through difficult, challenging times, even, environmental situations. There were massive fires this year. And so all these different situations where if we're in a position to give, why not do so? And so that's, as I look at scaling this company and bringing on like more team members, more community members, all of the different facets, like what are the core values of Independent Beauty Pros? And one of those is giving back. It's a huge foundational cornerstone. So early on, we had partnered with a nonprofit that provided pampering to patients undergoing long-term care in treatment centers. So undergoing, chemotherapy, having long stays in hospital visits, and being able to give back in a way where we were giving them the funds necessary to be able to kind of go back and share and give back to them in that way. So that was something that even when I first launched, that was so important to make sure that we had a nonprofit that was in alignment with the beauty industry and that was also giving back to people who are really in need for different scenarios, and being able to have a roster of nonprofits that we can point our members to that are doing great things that are impactful. So our second nonprofit for the year of 2021 was Project Beauty Share, like you mentioned. So we were able to do multiple virtual networking events, which again, we can talk more about all the different features of IBP, but in addition to our twice monthly virtual education hours, we also host virtual networking events where you're there to talk about yourself, your business, promote yourself, share who you're looking to connect with, and walk away with like true valuable connections that you can then implement within your business. So with these ticketed events, so they're paid tickets, all proceeds were being given back to these nonprofits of our choice. So Project Beauty Share, we were able to raise over $1,000, $1,050 over the course of multiple virtual networking events. And then we also hosted our first in-person event in Chicago, which was the Evening en Blanc White Party, where we were able to view their Evening en Blanc virtually. You were there. It was the first time that we got to meet in person with our IBP ambassadors. So we have 4 ambassadors, including yourself. And so we were able to all get together and have some in-person time, which felt so great coming out of like the depths of the pandemic and being able to have our first very small group together. And again, I think that's something, no matter how we grow, no matter what that looks like, giving back is going to be something that's truly important to myself, to our team, to our ambassadors, to our members. And it's something that's going to continue to trickle through our business and be a part of what we do.
I love that. And I loved when we were in Zion and dreaming about where IBP is going to go and how we want to volunteer and help women of domestic violence and sex trafficking victims and how we can get on board. We were networking with Sam Villa and talking to him on how we could help volunteer. And that's my favorite part about IBP, because that's one of my core pillars too, is giving back. I just feel like it's a great boomerang, because I remember not having, and when people gave to me, it felt so bad, but it felt so good at the same time. And that's just the law of balance of giving and receiving. So I just see big things for IBP. So what is your like biggest dream coming up for your IBP?
The list is long. I think the biggest thing as we are scaling, I think the next big project that I will share, we are working on developing an app to take our web-based platform onto an app-based platform, which it's so fascinating to be in this role, because I am a small business owner at heart. That's my background. I built my business. My dad was a small business owner. I have that in my blood and my veins. And so stepping into being a tech founder and taking this business into app development and technology and understanding all the different facets that come with that piece has been such a challenge for me, and so rewarding to trust that I am capable of stepping into that and scaling this into the business that it is and it will be. And I think that's something that, again, when we look at entrepreneurship as a whole, I think we could all make lists of dreams that are very long. And that's something that for me, I love about myself, that I am such a dreamer. I have big dreams. I have big goals. I don't play it small. I never think about things in a small capacity. It's always shoot for the moon. And so I love being able to kind of see that really all you need is to believe it's possible. It's truly all you need. And if you have that belief, you'll find opportunities. You'll learn what you need to learn. You'll take on challenges that would otherwise intimidate you or scare you. And that's been a true test for me to step into how much do I believe it? How much do I believe that I'm capable? Because it is necessary to be able to step into that role from being an artist, being behind the chair. I mean, I've already kind of taken on and navigated a lot of facets that I didn't think I could just a few years ago. So being able to now kind of put on a tech founder hat, a CEO hat, and look at like, okay, this is what's required and it's possible. And I'll learn as I go and I'll connect with the people I need to connect with to make sure that this happens. But really just, it's that inner belief that starts the entire process.
So amazing, Lindsay. I love it. I love it. So do you dream of having like a platform, like a social platform, like Instagram or Facebook? Because IBP now has your own profile. So when
Yeah.
Instagram went down, it was fabulous because we didn't have to worry about losing our contact of educators and
Yeah.
mentors and worrying about how to find them and what their last name was, because we built these connections not only virtually in FaceTime, but also through a profile based platform.
Yeah, so that's the great thing now. So, kind of walking through IBP, we currently have a web based platform that includes a community directory. So, you have a profile set up just like you would have on any other social media platform. The difference for us, what really makes us valuable and different, is that you're not going through by searching keywords or hashtags. You're not having to like weed out people who are first not independent and second not collaborative. So, you're basically coming into a space where that has already been done for you. You know that anyone you connect with, whether it's a barber, a makeup artist, an esthetician, a coach, they're already in alignment with collaboration, in alignment with being an entrepreneur, understanding all the facets. So again, you mentioned bookkeeping, you mentioned like doing our taxes, like all those responsibilities our community members all have awareness of, understanding of, they can relate, they can connect because we all have that in common. So again, when we think about like, social media is great. I have no interest in like taking the place of fill in the blank social media platform. But I feel like what wasn't great, what was challenging for me is going through and scrolling through God knows what to be able to find one person to collaborate with. And to me, that's a pain point that shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be that challenging to connect with like-minded artists. So what's really unique about IBP is that we are industry inclusive. We're the only community currently that focuses on all solopreneurs. So we're not a community just for hairstylists. We're not a community just for barbers. We want to make sure that we are open to all solopreneurs in the beauty space because again, we can all learn from each other even if our services are different. You had mentioned the collaboration versus the competition kind of feel. There is no point in feeling competitive. If you're feeling a competitive attitude towards anyone around you, it's coming from your own scarcity. It's coming from your own areas of doubt and fear. And so when you can kind of look internally and recognize where that's coming from, once that's gone, the opportunities to grow and expand are so much bigger through collaboration. It's crazy how much more you can accomplish when you collaborate with someone. It's really like it's just the simplest thing, and I think being able to really show artists, especially the younger artists coming right out of beauty school or stepping into entrepreneurship in those early stages, like, listen, you are not going to be able to grow as big as you want to grow, as fast as you want to grow by yourself. You're just not going to be able to. So here are all of these people that want to help you get there.
And you have, like you said, an inclusive, because you did texture hair, which is a very rare thing in the industry for someone to be diverse. You did all diversities of hair, and you brought DEI training to IBP. Not many places, like I said, they don't have that HR. So we have everything from taxes to inclusion to mobile business. We didn't even talk about that. She doesn't just focus on brick and mortar. If you have a mobile business, you are a solopreneur creator, this is the platform for you. Because I've loved watching some of the conversations, even though it doesn't apply to me. You never know where it could go or if somebody needs the information, and we all have the same interest. So why not work together, like you said, to get farther faster?
Yeah, I think there's so many opportunities to learn from someone else's experience. Again, even if it's not, so we're about to host a digital mobile business retreat. So even if you are not at all interested in mobile business, which is totally fine. It's not a requirement. However, even if you're not at all interested in that facet, some of the things that we talk about when it comes to, so one of our keynote speakers is, her name is Tracy. She has a business called Launch Tech Made Easy. She literally helps entrepreneurs set up the technology required to be able to diversify their income streams. So again, even if you never have any interest in traveling around the country with your business, how beneficial to diversify income streams. We all saw last year how challenging it was to find options for revenue. how beneficial to make that connection just by listening to a keynote speaker at an event that's included in your membership. So there's so many different facets. We provide resources to artists, educators, coaches, downloadable contracts that you can literally fill in the blank, put in your logo, all of the content information that you need. And it was written by our attorney. So it's legally binding. God forbid you're in a situation where you need a contract to be enforced. You've got it. It's there. So again, when you look at resources, those were pain points I experienced. I remember writing my own contract, which thankfully I never had to enforce. But if I did, who knows what the outcome would have been, because I wrote it myself. So again, by really having that understanding, I think the big thing as we're looking at, again, taking our web-based platform that has all of these different facets and putting it into an app, and I'm now pitching to investors and I'm looking at bringing on strategic partnerships to really make sure that the scalability is there for our business and our foundation is solid. I'm really selective in that space because I don't want someone just to write a check. I want someone who truly understands the needs of our community and wants to continue to serve the beauty industry and independent artists specifically.
I love that. Oh, so if you're an independent artist, a solopreneur, and you're looking for support and connections and community, IBP is the community for you. Lindsay is a powerful leader and she wants success and abundance for all. And I can truly attest to that. I'm so excited to see her expand her business. It's been fun watching it behind the scenes. I love to watch you glow. I am really excited to talk about connections too. You have Britt Carmichael's deck. And I normally pull my cards from Britt Carmichael's decks for my Woo Woo Wednesday. And we're filming on a Woo Woo Wednesday. This all kind of feels. So Lindsay is going to pull the card. And Lindsay is new to the Woo Woo. I bring more Woo Woo to IVP than Lindsay, just so you know.
Yes.
So
I'm working on it.
I am really proud of you. And I mean, Lindsay is like the perfect to me because she is great with, if you want to write weekly newsletters, she's a great support about that. If you want to be a strong communicator, Lindsay is a great mentor for that. And she offers these services for free in your membership. It's just incredible. If you help my business, you've helped me as a person personally, like it's really great to be a part of this community. I'm so happy and honored to be part of it. And Britt has been like a special guest on one of the virtual education hours, and she created this deck. And it's such an awesome ripple effect. And I love seeing it in your hand. So I love, everybody pulls cards differently. There is no right or wrong way. So it's fun to watch. If you're not watching on the podcast, obviously drive your car or do your exercise. She's shuffling the deck for us and she's going to show us how the universe is screaming a divine message to us.
Here, I'll lower my camera. So
oh, nice. Thanks.
Shuffle here.
Ah.
So
you're professional.
I just got this deck. It literally arrived yesterday, Monday. Today's Wednesday, so it arrived Monday. And I just made a reel showing off this beautiful deck because Britt is, she's just a magical person. I'm so excited for us, you, Pat, me, Brett, to be at the Evolve Couples Retreat in Destin, Florida in February. What is it? February 22nd, 2022.
Talk about manifestation angel number.
Yes. So yeah, again, I'm a logical thinker. I am just recently kind of tapping into more holistic mindsets and manifestation. And I think, again, there's like this really interesting kind of maybe like combination for our community where we now have so many people who are very woo, very spiritual, and so many people who are super logical. And so it's like great to kind of see all of those personalities come together and people start to kind of see like, oh, I can implement this really practical thing and it can greatly improve my energetic business, or I can pull a card once a day and it can really help me shift my mindset. It's like these little tiny things. So, okay, I'm going to draw a card. So the way I've been doing it, I just shuffle the deck until one stands out by itself. So this one does. And then that for me is like, oh, okay, this is my like message for the day.
Okay.
and it's a really great one. Shocking.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
gonna move this back up. So this one says allow unlimited abundance. So again, I think when we think about like how just a little mindset shift can make such a big difference.
I'm dying right now.
Yay!
That is my card pool of the day.
For today?
Yes. These are my two, right?
Wow.
I pull one from Britt and one from the light, and I pulled the same one.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
This is where it's so fun for me to kind of step into some of this more. We just had Lindsay on as a human design expert. Lindsay Means, she just talked about like really the benefits of understanding your human design, because it's like the blueprint of who you are. Like, so again, from someone like me who is very logical, I'm a black and white thinker. I think of things in a neat box, and anything outside of that just does not fit for me. And I've been trying on like all these different kind of ways to think. And she did a reading for my boyfriend, Brett, and I. And again, it was just immensely impactful, because we both had this like, oh, that's why we do this. That's how we connect this way. That's where our communication struggles. That's what there was such a clear like, oh, that makes perfect sense. So for someone like me, who's really logical, it's easy to kind of like find the proof and be like, oh, she doesn't know us well. She doesn't know my boyfriend at all. She's never met him in person. For her to be able to sit on a Zoom call and share these like very clear pinpoint personality traits for both of us, it was crazy. And again, like, I just shuffled the deck for me to draw the card you drew. Like,
I know, that's so rad.
There's enough things like that now. I have enough like collection of proof of where I'm like, okay, what would happen if I just let go of some of this black and white stuff?
Let in the purple and pink. I promise you, it will just
It's amazing.
Joy,
Yeah.
joy, and let go of all that fear. It would bring color. We need it.
I love it.
Oh, I love you. So where can the viewers and listeners find you? Where are you at on this internet world?
Sure. So we have not yet made our first hire. So far right now, our team on IBP includes myself and then our 4 wonderful ambassadors who are helping us grow our community outreach, connect with other like-minded people. So if you DM Independent Beauty Pros, you will be talking with me directly. I love responding. I respond to everyone's messages. So please reach out. That will be a facet, no matter how large we scale, no matter who we have on our team. I will always love that connection piece, and that will always be something I hold on to, because I love making those connections that are really, again, with people who are so like-minded, who are just looking for their place. So on Instagram, on Facebook, all Independent Beauty Pros. And I'm sure you'll link that in our show notes. And then also through our community, which is just independentbeautypros.com. Our membership is paid, so you won't see all of the different facets within our community, but you'll get a better understanding of who we are. And our blog is accessible to everyone. So you can go on, read our blog posts. Most of those are contributed by our members, our community.
And your podcast.
And our podcast, the Beauty Solopreneur Podcast. Yep.
Heading into season 2. I know you're on a little hiatus right now, but it's coming.
Yeah, season 2 is dropping tomorrow, actually. So yeah, by the time this airs, season 2 will be out. Yeah. So that's another great way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today and sharing all this amazingness. And be on the lookout, because one day you might even see Lindsay on your TV. Just saying. We'll tell you more when we can. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today, Lindsay. And we wish you much abundance with Independent Beauty Pros, and cannot wait to see you shine in 2022. So, namaste and hairspray, friends.